Today we're going to talk about one of the core principles of spiritual growth, and it's about the concept of joy. And the card that we're reflecting on today is Let Joy Be Your Guide. This is a part of the suit that is about choice. It's about expansion. It's about really stepping into the fullness of you. And joy is a very interesting concept. It's spoken about quite a lot and misunderstood in many ways. And I'm going to go through a process of demystifying joy for you. What is joy in comparison to things like adrenaline, excitement, passion? These are different sort of energies, and to talk about it. When we talk about this card, let joy be your guide. If we think about a guide, if you think about going on a holiday and you think about hiring a guide to take you around the place you've gone to visit, what kind of guide do you want? Do you want somebody who's going to sit there miserably the whole time and just kind of say, don't go there, that's dangerous, don't do that, this is a terrible thing to do? Or do you want a guide that is going to be passionate and inspirational and excited about showing you the places and the spaces that are interesting? Do you want somebody who's going to take you into the nooks and crannies and into all the places you would not normally go? Or do you want the person who's really just going to take you to the mainstream places and just like, okay, go read that book, go do that? When we think about guidance in this way, it becomes a very simple thing for us to understand, because clearly we're going to choose the guide that is exciting and interesting and inspiring, that's going to take us on an adventure and help us explore this holiday that we're on. Now, if we think of our life in that way, if we think about coming to Earth and we're on this grand adventure, we're exploring it, we're on this holiday, so to speak, how do we put in place a guidance system that takes us to the adventure of our life, takes us through the curiosity of exploring our life? And that's what joy is about. It's about navigating life from a place of inspiration and curiosity. I have many clients that come into my room, and one of the first questions they ask me, or one of the first things they say to me, is they're here because they want to know their purpose. What is their purpose? And the guidance is so clear about this, is that we all actually have exactly the same purpose. Every single human being has the same purpose, and that's to experience joy. Whatever it is that brings you joy, that's your purpose. To navigate life towards that is the core purpose of you. Now, what brings me joy is going to be very different to what brings you joy. And that is part of this beautiful kaleidoscope of life, is that each of us have a navigational system that takes us towards the things that we are good at and the things that we're born to do, because that's our joy. Now, joy is, as I said earlier, very different to excitement. When we talk about excitement is something that gets, we build it up. There can be many things that are exciting. In the world of FOMO, we actually have a lot of exciting stuff that can distract us from our joy. Yeah? We can follow a trail on our phones that can be quite exciting and interesting, but it's not necessarily aligned to our joy. And so we need to understand this distinction between excitement and joy. Excitement often has an adrenaline to it. It can even be an avoidance tactic to doing what we want to do in our life. Is that I'm constantly seeking an adrenaline rush. I'm constantly trying to find some kind of hype in my life. And so then I follow this highs and lows of excitement. Now, we're not saying excitement's bad. It's a lovely experience and a lovely feeling. It just needs to be distinguished from joy, and to understand that sometimes that excitement can be a distraction from your joy. If something is joyful for you, it is actually quite calming. It's quite peaceful. There can certainly be passion in it. There can be sort of an energy. You're going to get an awaken, like it's going to feel like it makes you feel like more. Yeah? But it is not necessarily a high and a low, and it's not hyped up. It can be quite gentle, quite calming, quite relaxing. When you feel joy in your body, there's a complete alignment. There's no sort of resistance. There's no sort of tension. Everything comes to a place of calm. It comes to a place of centered. And that's how we know what our joy is. It brings us to a place of truth and knowing and calmness. So it's quite simple for guidance to come forward around the purpose of our life is to follow your joy. Yeah. And then people's next question to me is, so, well then what's my joy? And isn't that a great question? Because that's the eternal question. That's the question that will pull you forward into the truth of your life. So that's your exercise, is to not know the answer to what's your joy, but to start being open to what do you think it could be. What are the things in your life where you lose time, where you find yourself in such a state of flow? What are the moments of grace, the things that bring you to a place of curiosity and adventure in life? And if that's drawing, then drawing is a starting point. If that's reading, then reading is a starting point. If it's talking to people, then talking is a starting point. And so to start a joy journal where you allow yourself to start tracking, what are the activities in my life that bring me to a place of joy? And just to start noticing. The other thing that's really important about this is it's not about one thing, and it's not about finding the thing. That's like finding the one. It's about something that can evolve and change as you do and as you grow. So here's to your joy. You do not need to know the answer. You just need to be open to exploring with it. Sending you love. Namaste.
Get your very own deck of I Am Lightwalker cards straight from Taryn by visiting iamlightwalker.com/cards.